feeding the mind. What does feeding the mind mean, and why? Why should you feed your mind? We talk about feeding the body, right? We feed the body crap, we're going to get crap results. You feed the mind crap, you're setting yourself up for failure when you don't take control of what you put into your mind. It's very important. Think of your mind as a computer, like a supercomputer, really. And it's much like putting software in your computer. The software you put in your computer is going to be the kind of results your computer is going to give back to you. Much like the kind of programs we upload to our mind, or we feed ourselves, we program our minds with the information that comes in. That's the type of world we're going to experience. The words we choose, the emotions that we choose to give those words, ultimately shape the reality of what it is that we're experiencing. To quote Ralph Smart, we live in the world that we're thinking of. Makes sense, right? So let's call this mind nutrition, because the word nutrition literally means source of nourishment. And we're going to nourish our minds specifically. Before we get into that, we're going to talk about some rules before we talk about what it is that we're going to feed our mind. So some rules of the game are this. Distance yourself from crappy people. It makes sense. These are the kind of people that are negative all the time, or they just don't want to see you succeed for whatever reason. Let's distance these people from our lives just for a little while. You don't have to cut them out from your life. Just give yourself some distance so you can stay focused, move forward, look great in the mirror, and ultimately have probably the best summer of your life, right? That's what we're here for. We're here to get you to look great, feel great, move better, all that. So number one, distance yourself from crappy people. Number two, surround yourself with positive vibes. I mean, it sounds kind of hippie, but positive vibes are just that. And these vibes come in all sorts of ways. We live in a world now where stuff is coming at us all the time, not just with the people in our lives, but from the television and from the internet, everywhere. So you're going to have to make a choice now to consciously surround yourself with positive vibes. And we're going to get into that in just a little bit. And part of getting yourself ready to move in the direction of what it is you're trying to accomplish with your body, you're going to want to turn off distractions. The mind is easily distracted. I'm guilty of that as well. But what I did do, what works really well, is compartmentalize your fool-around time, I call it. Fool-around time is that kind of stuff where you're on Facebook, you're looking at different things, you're just kind of chatting back and forth in between friends. You see, a lot of teenagers today are very distracted, and they're constantly distracted. I call it the distraction generation. So we don't want to fall into the trap of being constantly distracted. You don't want to be playing games all the time on the computer or on your Facebook. Turn these things off. They're not going to serve you. What I would rather you do is actually compartmentalize it. Give yourself a space, an hour of fool-around time. And if you structure it, you'll have taken back your personal power, and now you can control what your mind is doing rather than have the mind control you. If you can actually turn off all distractions for 2 hours, that's optimal. Turn off all distractions for 2 hours. If you're going to compartmentalize your distractions, that's one thing. But to completely give yourself freedom from all distraction, everything, if you can do 2 hours, great. 1 hour is fine too. 2 hours is optimal. And I'm not telling you to go meditate or anything like that, although that's probably the best thing you could possibly do for the mind. It's like shutting down your computer gracefully. You should shut the thing down completely, so when you reboot it back up, it gets the updates it needs, not burning up the battery constantly, all these things. And then what I want you to do is set aside time to empty your cup. Take time. If it's right before bedtime, that's fine too. Don't just go to bed, but actually, literally, take the time to empty your mind. If you can do it in a midday, that's perfect. Empty your mind. Empty your cup. And don't just turn on a TV and say that works because I'm not doing anything. Shut everything off. If you can do this, you're going to reset this supercomputer to be more optimal for you for making better decisions, which ultimately move us in the direction of our actions that we take and the emotions that we get from the results of those actions. It all lines up. Okay, so we talked about turning everything off. We talked about emptying your cup. But what I want you to also do to set yourself up to feed the mind, to have proper mind nutrition, is I want you to set your Facebook up, set your YouTube up, and get rid of all the stuff. Get rid of that stuff. I want you to find some motivational and positive Facebook pages. Just type in there motivational quotes or a daily inspiration or daily motivation or something of that nature. And I'll put some links below so you can actually have sites to check out. But what's going to happen is that your information that's coming to you from these places, for example, on Facebook or on YouTube, you're going to see those new videos and new things come up, and that's going to set yourself up for the right mindset. You don't want negative stuff constantly coming into your life. You don't want to fall into the trap of conspiracy theories. What you want to do is you want to feed your mind the proper nourishment. Setting yourself up with the social media that we live in now is really a powerful way of moving forward in your mind and getting yourself set up to make the right decisions, and we know how that works. So use the internet, use Facebook, use YouTube, and try and program them. You program them to give you the positive vibes that you're looking for. So check out the links for that. What I also want you to do is check out YouTube, look for some mentors that will help you with whatever goal you're looking for. There's so much information. It's easy to get overwhelmed with so much stuff. And there's a lot of entertainment out there. What I want you to do is I want you to hone in and focus on what it is we're trying to do here. We're trying to get you to be the greatest version of what you believe you can be. Whatever that is, looking great in the mirror is part of it. We're going to use this information and we're going to use it in our lives to look like the best versions of who we believe we can be. I want you to do is I want you to find mentors. And I'm going to give you some of my personal recommendations, and you may or may not resonate with all of them. Give yourself some really good mentors yourself, but I'm going to give you some recommendations. Don't judge the messenger. Just see if the message resonates with you. If you get 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 5 minutes of content from somebody and you can only resonate with one thing, that was very successful because you found something that resonated with you that you would have never resonated with had you not programmed yourself to take it in. And we got to kind of do that. We got to kind of brainwash our minds because there's so much distraction out there to keep us from doing that. And this is a really important subject. What you think is what becomes. What you think about is what you create. And I'm going to keep hitting home that this is probably the most important part of the nutrition, your mind nutrition. So think about these things. Get yourself a mentor. I really hope that this made sense to you. We're going to start moving in the direction of the nuts and bolts of what you can physically do exercise-wise so you can take this next few weeks to really hone in and over the next 3 months just look awesome in the mirror. Okay, that's my goal for you. Check out the video descriptions below, the recommendations. Definitely look at the PDF, and I will see you guys on the next video. Hope this finds everybody well. Take care. Peace.